How's everybody doing? Doing a little bit closer up so you can see what I'm playing on this video. I just want to do a little quick lesson on a couple things about R&B guitar and soul guitar, gospel guitar, because there's a thread that runs through all of these. Blues, a lot, And a little story. When I first started playing guitar, I didn't start like a lot of traditional guitar players, from the more of the folk or maybe the pop or maybe, these different genres where you start off with the open chords, like playing a D like this. I didn't even know. I had already been playing for probably a year or two before I ever even knew about that chord. Because everything, the way I learned how to play guitar was all bar chords. So instead of playing this D, I played. And it's not about, right or wrong or anything like that. But it was actually before I started playing with people and playing other forms of music that I found out about, this C, this G, and so on and so forth. F, and all of those different things like this in the first position. I knew that one, of course. I need to know how to tune my guitar. But I learned everything, like if somebody said play a F chord, a F major, I just played it like this, like a bar chord. Somebody said play a C, I would play it like this. If somebody said play an A, I would play it like this. C, F, with my thumb over already really early. So this really lends itself to playing rhythm and blues and gospel guitar. And what I would like to talk about is just like these chords. Okay, that's a C major chord. Same as that one, right? I would play it like this if I'm playing any soul, R&B or something like that, because it lends itself to the sound that you're playing. It lends itself to the music. Instead of playing, just for an example. Then you have double stops. Instead of playing this full chord, if you're playing with another guitar player, instead of playing this whole thing, you can just complement it and go. Just a little double stop. So anytime, any key, no matter what key, whenever you can do this chord, C major, you can play this. If it's a major song, obviously, if it's a minor song, you wouldn't do that. But anytime you have this major chord, you can do this little thing. Or you can add movement. You can play still in C. Let's play this triad. And I'm still just playing C, but I'm adding movement to it. And this is the way I really came up playing in church, We done songs where we would add major, minor, And you can hear that throughout soul, gospel, R&B, whatever. And that just gives you something to practice. And then for the 4, so, if somebody said play soul groove in D, you just move it up a whole set. double stops. I mean, throughout the history, it's still certain kinds of music, soul, R&B, roots, even country, all these different styles. Double stops are so effective, you know. You know, you have that on the track, you play that over that D major. It just has a sound. It already just sounds, you know, direct, to the point, beautiful, melodic, just by playing something. You know, people like Cornell Dupree and guitar players that I really admire made a whole career out of that, amongst other things. But you know what I mean. Playing that on people's records. So many people, if you take, you could take, you know, like Larry Carlton to Cornell Dupree to all of these different, Reggie Young, Jesse Ed Davis, and all these people, a big part of what they would do is play these double stops. So a way to get started in that is to just take any key. If somebody said, I don't know, play in B, then all of a sudden I would know, okay. You got B, right? I would automatically go down here and play this. See, you already got it right here. You know you can do that. And you just build up these things, because a lot of times songs are either major or minor. You know, I mean, like real, just simple songs throughout any genre. Not just, you know, like soul, R&B, or blues, but so many different songs. They're either major or minor. And then you add things like sevenths and major sevenths and dominant sevenths and augmented and all of that kind of stuff to it. But the basic, the root, you know, a lot of times on the guitar, you're only going to play 3 notes. You know, you're not even going to play a full chord. You know, you just got to play 3 notes, you know, out of the chord. So it's cool to get a grasp on these small things. Even when I'm by myself and I'm playing, I still like to play double stops, you know. And you just start to kind of pick these up as you pick up single note things, you know, like say, for instance, if you're in B again. I don't really like B, but B natural. But you know, you just develop little things. So if you're in B, excuse me, and then you have this at your disposal anytime when you look at it and say you're in G. You know, if you're in B flat, you know, any key. And then, you know, you still, like if you play, you know, you could play that one. You know, you just have to find these little things and what works. If you take a simple chord, like a progression like A major, B minor 7, C sharp minor 7 to D major 7, you know, you just think of like, what could you play, you know? You know, that's just some different chords to play. So like, major, if you're playing A major, so if it's like major 7, again, that same double stop, you know, so you know you can kind of play because it's major. Then you got another inversion of the A major chord. You know? It's just simple stuff, but it's the most effective stuff. I mean, more guitar players have been hired to play double stops or triads on a record, probably more than anything. I mean, even people like you could even take a guy like Mike Landau, my dear friend Mike Landau, and you hear so many of these pop records and stuff from the 80s with all of the effects and tri-stereo chorus and reverbs and all this. And a lot of times they got a Strat and a Wang bar and they're playing these little triads and double stops and things like that. It's such an important part of music and it's so simple. Just take your time. And if you get like a bar chord or something like this, like G, and it's movable. It's up and down the neck. It's movable. It's not open strings or anything. It's the bar chord way. Now, it's very effective too to just play open chords like this. A lot of people used to call them cowboy chords back in the day, but it's very effective to play that. When I would play with a singer-songwriter or something like that, back in the day, it was mandatory that sometimes I would have to play these open position chords, because of the style of music and staying within that style. But a lot of times, even then, you can still, if you're there playing the open chords and everything, you can still kind of sneak some of yourself in there and play some of these double stops and triads, because that's really the heartbeat of music. Like the heartbeat of a lot of guitar accompaniment and making a song sound good, coming up with these little double stop melodies. Okay, then you have people like on the whole neo soul, and you have people playing, like Jubu Smith, and all of these younger guys, Agape Jerry, and just so many Jairus, and all of these younger guys playing, and they just take this style to the moon. They're playing all of these double stops and triads and different things like that. And it's incredible. So, this is really a big part of rhythm guitar, a big part of, having a sound, making the song sound better and all that. So I just wanted to talk about that a little today. Hope you enjoyed it and knocking the dust off of another guitar that's dear to my heart, my 1966 ES335, Gibson ES335. I love it. It looks just like Larry Carlton's guitar, and it's affectionately called Eugene. All right. Hope everybody has a fantastic Saturday, and I will talk to you real soon. Take care.